Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical, and today I'm going to discuss with you and bring to you the first episode, episode 1 of the Land Cruiser vehicle build weekly show, weekly update about the Land Cruiser and what we're doing week by week in our Land Cruiser project. For week 1, what we're going to discuss is a little bit of the Exoskeleton roof rack roll cage system that we're working on. We're currently redesigning it and rebuilding it. What I'm going to end up doing now, or what I've already started doing actually, is using stainless steel nuts, okay? All stainless steel hardware. And what this allows me to do is it just allows me to do the work permanently, like what you can see right here. This right there is a welded in stainless steel nut, and I used fish plates where a setup like this gets installed here, holding on the next part of the roll cage. Okay, so that will go in there just like what you see right here. And one of the reasons that I am using this particular setup here is for, like I said, being able to be permanent, okay? And it bothers me that I could have a nut welded in that might be rusting. So I do recommend using stainless. Now, that being said, the way that you do that is you put this nut, you drill the hole, and you guys here in a minute will see the work if you haven't already. I think actually you've already seen the work at this point. So you drill a hole in here. You put the nut in, and then you thread in an old bolt, not the good bolt, and you put some points in there. It's kind of complicated, but my tip is to make sure that you are using stainless steel welding rods. And then what that does, as long as you're using a stainless steel welding rod, it leaves what you can see here is a stainless steel bead around the outside, and then you have your rust normally, which will finish all this. At the end, when we're done, we'll finish it all in a paint to where it won't rust. But what I can do is I can leave that bare metal there, and then I'll never have to worry about it rusting. I can do really good work and make sure that it's permanent. Now let's talk a little bit about that's my tip for the day. Let's talk a little bit about the actual layout here that we're going with. Heavy duty bumper, okay? Lights in the bumper, some things I always go for. High lift jack, always have a high lift jack on any kind of a designated off-road or Overland expedition vehicle. Always have the high lift jack. Very easy that it's mounted right on the bumper, saves a lot of space. Winch in the bumper and some tow straps. All that means that I save storage space on all that stuff and don't really have to keep it maybe in the storage areas of the vehicle. I can just keep it strapped to the outside. So the next point is rock sliders, and we haven't actually got started on that work of remodifying these again yet, which I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some hoops on here that'll keep the actual rocks and stuff off the side of the truck, and then a loop here and then a loop at the other end, and it'll keep the side of the truck from catching, and it'll keep the tires hitting what the tires need to hit and keep any rocks and debris from hitting the truck. The fish plate here is going to be part of the roll cage system. Again, same thing, same concept. We're going with stainless steel now. We're going to do tube work. We'll get more into that in future videos. I'm just going to discuss week by week where we're actually at on the truck. And back here, so we've extended the bed to a full-size 6-foot bed. We've extended the chassis to allow for a full-size 6-foot bed. The bed's not here yet, obviously. We've got the bed pulled off. We're doing some work on that. When we start working on the bed in a few weeks, I'll update you with those episodes. But what we have done here is we've got a chassis extension that this allows for basically what you would consider to be a headache rack, okay, hardcore platform for some more bars that go here supporting the roof rack. And then, as I said, we've extended the chassis there. On the back of the chassis, you can see the extension here, and we've mounted a winch, which we'll get into that in another episode. I'm about to finish. I rebuilt this winch. I'm about to do all that. Maybe next week or in the next 2 weeks, I'll talk about all this Frankenstein build of this winch we've got here. But right now it's working. Just got it working, so we'll do that in a future video. Viair air compressor, all that's wired in. We'll do the wiring in a separate video as well. But right now, as we're discussing the exo cage, we've got, again, stainless steel nuts already mounted in here. 2 here, 4 here. We're gonna run down here. We've got pull-out boxes, and then one of the great things is I have my storage containers in 6-foot aluminum boxes. And that allows me to keep all my gear at this level, at this level, have a winch and air compressor. At this level, I have all the gear of the truck, pull out and access any of it I want, and still have a bed on top of that. So I'm here, at my shop right now, working on knives, building products, inventing crazy and awesome tactical gear, and then at the same time, still able to use this truck to be hauling heavy metal parts for building forges and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's kind of the gist and the rundown of what we've done with the exoskeleton and the exo cage. I do appreciate you guys watching. Questions and comments below. Let me know if there's anything on the truck that you've seen so far that you want to know more about. If you want to learn more, I'll go really further into detail. In closing, I recommend using welding in the nuts. Easiest way to do it. Weld them in, but use stainless steel welding rods and nuts, and then you don't have to think about it again. Final tip is to always use anti-seize grease on anything, including beadlock wheels, beadlock nuts, and the bolts you put on there, and then the bolts that you put on anything that you're putting together that you want to be removable. Always use an anti-seize compound. Thanks for watching. Bone out.